This is an interesting story. I'll tell you the story behind it, and then I'll pass over to Padraig. There was once a world-renowned philosopher who from an early age set himself the task of proving once and for all the non-existence of God. Of course, such a task was immense, for the various arguments for and against the existence of God had done battle over the ages without either being able to claim victory. He was, however, a genius without equal and possessed a singular vision which drove him to work each day and long into every night in order to understand the intricacies of every debate, every discussion, and every significant work on the subject. The philosopher's project began to earn him respect among his fellow professors when, as a young man, he published the first volume of what would turn out to be a finely honed, painstakingly researched, encyclopedic masterpiece on the subject of God. The first volume of this work argued persuasively that the various ideas of God that had been expressed throughout antiquity were philosophically incoherent and logically flawed. As each new volume appeared, he offered time and again devastating critiques of the theological ideas that had been propagated through different periods in history. In his early 40s, he completed the last volume, which brought him right up to the present day. However, the completion of this work did not satisfy him, for he still had not found a convincing argument that would demonstrate once and for all the non-existence of God. All he had shown was that all the notions of God up to that time had problems. So he spent a further 16 years researching arguments, interrogating them with a highly nuanced logical analysis. But by now he was in his late 50s and had slowly begun to despair of ever completing his life's project. Then, late one evening, while he was locked away in his study, bent wearily over his old oak desk, surrounded by a vast sea of books, he felt a deep stillness descend upon the room. As he sat there motionless, everything around him seemed to radiate an inexpressible light and warmth. Then, deep in his heart, he heard the voice of God address him. Dear friend, the task you have set yourself is a futile one. I have watched on for all of these years as you have poured your being into this endless task. Yet you fail to understand that your project can only be brought to completion with my help. Your dedication and single-mindedness has not gone unnoticed, and it has won my respect. As such, I will tell you a sacred secret, known only by a few. Dear friend, I do not exist. Then, all of a sudden, everything appeared as it was before, and the philosopher was left sitting at his desk with a deep smile breaking across his face. He put his pen away and left his study, never to return. Instead, in gratitude to God for helping him complete his lifelong project, he dedicated his remaining years to serving the poor. That's a toughie. That was based on a dream that I had when I was 17. That was a dream. I had a dream where God appeared and said, I do not exist. It's true. And that is my most defining religious experience. That it's not that God exists or God doesn't exist. God is the inexistent thing.